This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Omijicat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Circa Barrakiel, Remy Asalia, Arcadia Lunashine, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Casey Schaefer, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Nat Clay, Lily Black, Bob CC, Mikta Rabentau, Faris Jantoru, Sapa Chakwatol, Edwin, Umbral Wind, Quick Levin, Pamela Isley, Camille Grineau, Elenriel Maximus, Codrith, Novelus, Mira Miri, Bay Barbale, Suno Shikano, Celesto Notrell, Lacy Boy, Abaga Dragon Knight, Luke Osborne, Pandalu Storm Arrow, Tex, Yowie Wowie, Kai Lin, Chibi Duo, AJ Brainswordson, and Beridan Derard. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aeursians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 262. I am Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Mela Vanadar. Whoa, that's the wrong order. Rollo Des and Georgi Wiston. I guess I've changed it up today. Hello.
Hello.
It is September 4th, 2021, and today we are going to talk about a scary topic. We're going to talk about something scary today in the great discussion. We'll be talking about mods and plugins in 14. Cue thunder.
Terrifying. I'm already wetting myself.
Don't worry, it's not going to be. It's not going to be as scary as you might think, but we'll have a very balanced discussion. We'll also review The Rising because that's happened. Remember to do that because
That ends soon, right?
yeah,
It ends on the 7th? Yeah,
9th.
9th. I think it's on the
It's
9th.
just me. I
Tuesday
feel like
or Friday.
events in 14 are too short. It should be like a month long.
Yeah.
No, I feel like they're too long, but they last one day. You just have to do one day in a 2-week period.
The Rising.
Some of them,
Yeah, go on.
some of them are 3 weeks long as well.
Yeah.
The Rising kind of makes sense because it's supposed to be like that one day, and they've just sort of, you know, I don't know. Yeah. So that's that. Stay tuned for the post show. We'll be answering questions from the syndicate. There is no minimum eye level. I don't know if I mentioned this behind the scenes, but there is no minimum eye level because I was sick on the day that I usually edit this thing, and I didn't do it. So there was no premiere today. It will be out on Thursday or Friday for YouTube. So look out for that. So, in channel updates for people listening on Spotify. Okay. It has been a hellish week for the audio podcast. I got an email from something that was tracking the podcast, and it was like
Something.
it's like it's not Spotify, it's something else. And it's like your Spotify feed is no longer, it doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, oh god. Did we get banned? And I checked my email, checked my Spotify account, and it's like, it's not there. So I had to resubmit it, which unfortunately means if you are a listener and you've listened to the podcast on Spotify, you have to re-add it with a new link, or you can just search us up again. We're still in the directory, so you can just do the search. But you have to do that because it will never come back on the old link. So make sure you do that. I have also noticed that there seems to be an issue with the indexing of some or all of the episodes. I'm gonna have to look into that. That happened in chat just now. So I gonna have to look into that. I'm sorry if it's all fucked, but I also added the podcast to a lot of other services, so we should be on pretty much everything right now. Like if you have
always find us, no matter what.
Even if you have we're on Stitcher now, we're on
What?
something like we're on a lot. We're on a lot of things. There's like a couple of things that we can't be on because I am not in the US. But
Really?
yeah, there's still some geo-blocking for some of the bigger ones. But I think we're on most of them. We're on Google, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Stitcher, we were on, oh, that's funny. We were on Pandora. But then Pandora was like, no, you can't be on here because you're within the like not the EU, but like the one that Norway is in, like
EEA?
yeah,
Economic area.
which I thought that's oddly specific. So can't do that.
Are we on Amazon?
Interesting.
We are on Amazon.
There you go.
You can now say you can be like, hey, play Speakers of Heidelin.
Rollo.
And what? It's not.
Now I have to go in and like edit that out, Rollo. That's gonna be so annoying. They're gonna be listening on their Alexa, and Alexa's gonna be like, oh, and then play like an old episode instead.
That's funny.
Okay.
Episode 1.
I'm sorry. That was Sorry. If you're listening to this, it's probably already been removed. But yeah. Okay, so that's that. Spotify listeners, you're probably not hearing this, but if you, for some reason, in frustration, have come to YouTube to like complain in the comments, this is the reason. Search us up again. We're still there. Okay, let's put that out of the way and go into recent events. Okay, there's a weapon design contest underway on the Lodestone. That's very interesting, isn't it? I already knew before Mela sent me a DM what he was making.
Yeah, same.
And I mean,
Don't say anything. That's not what I'm submitting.
I wish it was. I wish.
Really?
I wish you sent that in.
What if it won?
I would be very surprised. I want to say, okay, I'm not going to say what Mela made, but you know what Mela made. Let's just say it's a sword of a kind.
It was a dark knight.
It's a very dull sword. Very dull sword.
Why do you pick Dark Knight?
I just wanted to look at what the
Extra
template was.
large.
And it was the first one I saw. So I didn't know what the templates are like. I really like this competition. I don't know if they've done weapon contest much.
I don't believe
previously.
they have.
No.
One I've always waited for, because this is like, it's not too taxing because it's not a full outfit. It's just a one thing, like a theme more than anything. You don't have to make one for every class. I don't know. I might actually chuck some rubbish together.
I think it's really cool seeing like the little templates too of how like you're supposed to fit around the player's hands. The machinist one though, the shape for it is bizarre. Like the gun can wrap around your like the bottom of your fist.
Yeah.
Which it like a Mega Man blaster, I guess.
Yeah.
Go make that one. Someone make a Mega Man like blaster in your arm.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I think the description of what is the front of the gun is also quite strange, because you would think the front is like what you would see if someone was aiming at you, but according to the template, the front is what you would see side on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that with a Gauss barrel on.
God.
Well, that doesn't exist anymore, so silence.
Yeah, that's true.
Bring it back. Bring back Gauss barrel.
I don't think there are many people with you on that one, Mela.
No, it was horrible. Ruined every. Remember that tiny gun you could get from the
Yes.
Mackay event?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, go on.
If you want to go for a weapon that might not have as much competition, go Blue Mage.
True.
That's true, but I think what you should be going in for is a theme. Like, you know, for example, they have the diamond weapons in game, so you would just design one of the diamond weapons. So just do emerald.
Yeah.
There's a little tip for you.
There you go. There you go.
I'm doing ruby, so don't do that.
Okay. All right. So there's 18 grand prize winners, and it's interesting because you are getting. Oh, actually, this is the entrants that have qualified as finalists will all receive a great Paraserpent in-game
That's cool.
item,
Yeah.
which is a Great Serpent of Ronka umbrella, which, sure, or parasol, I guess. That's cool. If you like parasols.
Although it actually isn't. It's an umbrella.
Yeah.
It's not even the parasol model. That's it. That's a really confusing name, actually.
Yeah. So that's that. 300 entrants who have qualified as runners-up will each receive the following items. One in-game item package that consists of 1 Bluebird earring, 1 Scarf of Wondrous Wit, 1 Mandragora choker, 1 Ahriman choker, 1 Noble Barding, 1 Gaily cap, and 1 Modern Aesthetic strife.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, the strife
When it used to be pick which one you wanted.
Yeah.
And now you get all of them. I was thinking, finally can get the Gaily cap.
Well, isn't that
everything.
good? Now
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean,
great,
they're
isn't it?
designing a weapon. Like they're doing a job.
There have been bigger contests with worse prizes.
That's true.
So it's just nice
true.
to see.
Yeah.
I am a bit surprised, and I understand why, because they're not out yet, but I'm a bit surprised you can't design a Sage or a Reaper weapon in this competition.
That is true.
That's
Maybe
a
they didn't want to
shame.
give away the shapes or whatever.
Right.
I've already seen them.
We've
so
seen,
it's like-
Well,
I
we've seen
don't
their
know, yeah.
shape, essentially.
well, I mean, the game isn't out. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to design weapons.
But by the time this competition, these weapons come out, they'll be long out.
But you don't really know what the weapons, like, how they look or how they move. Like, I guess.
I mean, see, that's also why I think, could they have just not waited 3 months?
Yeah, well, they're in a drought. They're trying to do something for the community, like some community event while we're waiting, I guess. Yeah, I can see why, yeah.
How do you feel, Lucia, that if you wanted to design a weapon for your class, you'd have to click on Black Mage?
What, really?
Because they share a template and they haven't listed both in the list, obviously, because that would be redundant.
Do we share a
Oh,
template?
no, there is White Mage. Never mind. There is White Mage. There is White Mage. I was blind. It's a Lalafell. But they do share the same template.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, that's right.
No,
Yeah.
ignore me. I just couldn't see it.
Oh, okay. Well,
But from side on, Black Mage or White Mage weapons they cannot have a round top. It has to be flat in some way.
yeah. Weird.
Yeah, even though there are ones with spheres.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I don't know.
The templates are very weird.
They're not great templates. They're more of just like an outline.
So
but
is that,
I don't know, I'm gonna have a go at it.
why we can never have like a big like top thing on like that's spherical? Wait, we do have that.
It can't leave a certain boundary.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. Interesting. Anyways, the design contest is ongoing right now. Wait, right? It is now, right? Yes, it is. So go do that now if you want to have your weapon in the game.
Do we have the end date?
Yes, it closes
Yeah.
on October the 4th
Okay.
at sort of afternoon time GMT, early morning PDT.
Okay.
Do it before that date.
A GM responded on the subreddit that you can go slightly outside the boundaries if you need to.
Oh,
That's
nice.
reasonable.
There you go. Okay, so that's the weapon design contest. Moving on, there is this isn't Final Fantasy XIV online store. This is actually merch. The Art of Reflection. Well, I don't know if we can call this merch. I mean, it technically is, but this is an art book. The Art of Reflection, Histories Unwritten, which is the second Shadowbringers art collection.
Yeah, the patch art stuff.
Yeah. This voluminous art book contains approximately 1,000 illustrations from patches 5.1 through 5.5, including patch artwork and concept art for characters, duties, equipment, minions, and mounts. We've also included illustrations from seasonal events and Stay Home, and messages from the art team. Stay Home.
I like how it doesn't explain what Stay Home was. That was the thing where they had the 4 pieces of artwork showing what the characters would do when they're stuck at home.
Right.
Right. Working out Estinian. Was it Estinian?
Yeah.
Of course, that's the one everyone remembers.
I don't remember the others. He was sweaty.
It was
so sweaty.
Can you remind you what they all were?
They were. Oh, was it when Graha was making sandwiches?
Yeah, it was when he was making his blood red jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
Alize was practicing her sword play, and Riange was reading a book.
Oh, bless.
Okay, yeah.
It's a weird article to put because I'm sure I pre-ordered this months ago. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of these recently. The Heavensward ones arrived like a couple of weeks ago because they reprinted them. Sometimes the art in them's a little blurry.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not as high quality as I'd expect, but then some of them are super high quality. And it's like, I wonder what went on.
Maybe
I
they
might purchase this one.
Maybe they deleted the original ones and they're like, oh my god, go to the lodestone, let's figure out if we've posted it before. So yeah, that's
That's cool. You get Runa. He's our
wind up
favorite little boy.
Mm-hmm.
He will present a single flower.
Yes, yes.
So sweet.
There's also art of, is that Ranjit in his final form? I think he's in there. There's
No, that's not
Ranjit.
Ranjit. That's the Shadow. That's
I can't
what's his
see
name?
shit.
Oh, the Shadow Knight?
That's the third boss. Of
Oh, sorry,
Eden,
it's that. Yeah,
Eden's
sorry.
Promise.
I've already completely forgotten.
Oh,
about Eden's
the
Promise.
thing where it
The
fuses
Fatebreaker.
Thancred and Urianger.
Yeah.
Not Oriange, Thancred.
Thancred and
Ranjit.
Ranjit.
Yeah. Thancred.
Lawler's been slipping me sangria.
So that one is set to release on Tuesday, September 28th, 2021. And in game, you will get, like we said, the wind-up Runar. Okay, so something strange happened. So moving on, something weird happened. Was it yesterday? Or was it the day before?
When was this posted?
Let's just say recently. There was a
Yes.
recent tweet by Square Enix Music.
Oh, this one.
September 2nd.
Okay. It was promoting the upcoming, or wait, what was it? What was it actually? What was the actual ad for?
It was promoting the upcoming soundtrack,
Right.
The Death Unto Dawn soundtrack.
Yes, which we have announced here before. They made a trailer, and you can now. When I say alarm bells should already be going off when you hear that, because trailer for like an album with how many, like there's a lot of tracks on that album. Making trailers for music albums is already one of the like hardest things to do, because there's some whiplash. I think that's what Georgi said when he posted the link, that he got whiplash listening to this. That is a real problem when you put music tracks one after another, because they have like different BPMs. They have different, like there's a lot of things that change between songs. This video had like I think I counted 3 seconds of each track just cut together in rapid succession, and it is the most disorienting experience I've had in a very long time. And I have dementia, so it's really bad. So so we thought maybe that was that. You know, we'll bring it up as like a funny thing, you know, to bring up like, oh, have a look at this really weird trailer that they put out. But then things got really interesting, because this video is now removed.
Oh.
It's
like it never happened. Well, the tweet is still up, actually, which is kind of awkward.
Yeah, they didn't remove the tweet, so there's still evidence that it existed.
So I wonder if I wonder if they got like complaints, or maybe they themselves were like, this isn't working. Which I don't know. It's gone. It's gone. So those who watched it, you have experienced something very few, I think, got to experience.
Oh.
So there you go. Anything to add to that?
It sounds awful.
Yeah.
Wish I'd got to see it.
It was quite awful.
Yeah. It was bad. You actually got like physically, like I got dizzy.
Yeah, I wanted to get
it was
Disney.
very dizzying.
Yeah. Okay. That was the trailer. Let's move on to The Rising.
Okay.
It happened.
It did. It happened last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
So spoilers for the Rising quest line. So if you haven't done it, do I feel like you should have done it by now, but maybe I should do the right thing and
just in case.
I'll just have this up, so if you want, you can mute us now, and then when this spoiler warning goes away, you can come back. Okay.
Done.
Right. That was pretty low, I think, but you heard the bonk. Okay. So, back to the rising. Okay. So it starts off. This was interesting. I did this with 2 characters. I did it on my alt, which has never interacted with any quest NPCs ever, and my main, which has interacted with a lot. And I didn't realize until I did this on my alt that especially the rising is very different when you're like a new player, because they treat you very differently. So I'll mention that when you start the quest, for instance, like she's like, what's her name?
Something Jacka.
Fuck, her name is
Kippy Jacka.
Kipia. She's like, oh, I'm hello adventurer or something, and she's like, very clearly she doesn't know who the fuck you are, which is funny because when you play as like a character that has interacted with her before, she's like, how do you mean you don't remember me? So that's funny, but that you don't get that.
Yeah, it's funny because it's the exact opposite experience.
Yes.
You won't remember her, most of you.
Right. So she's got a scoop. There's something. There's something going
all the
on.
9 Maya lilies.
Yeah.
Who's done that?
Who could it be? So she asks you for help to like track down this story. I don't know how. It's not a very this part. Let's just say that the rising storylines aren't the deepest of storylines until the very end. So there's this Nemea Lily mystery that you're sent off on, and I think you go to the Alchemist Guild eventually and ask for, because someone has
you start out with the quicksand and talk to Momodi, and she is like, "Lol, nice to see you." I don't know if there's a different dialogue here because I started in Uldar, obviously. And she was saying how, it's nice to see me grown up, and it's funny to now see me doing menial tasks and stuff. I don't know if everyone got that.
The thing is, I didn't realize that things were different until because I actually did this in the reverse order. I did the rising event first on my alt because I just wanted the parasol. Because I just happened to be leveling on my alt. Okay, everyone got that? Okay. Yeah, so you go to Momodi, and she does the whole spiel, and then is she the one who sends you off to the Alchemist Guild? When do we end up in the Alchemist?
Yeah, she's the one that lets you know that there was apparently a huge order at the Alchemist Guild for some sort of thing to be made.
Okay.
The crates have arrived there or something, and then they're doing something with them.
Okay. And then as you arrive there, they're like, oh yeah, there was this guy who ordered a bunch of this shit, and we're making something. I don't remember exactly what they're making. This is so like irrelevant, really. But
it's potpourri.
It's very,
they're making potpourri.
Something.
Yeah, they're making potpourri. Yeah, essentially. Yeah. So you go back, report. Is that when she finds out that there's like this guy that's she's tracked down the guy that's doing it because he's at the So you go there, and it is of course the Wandering Minstrel. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I wanted to just hand out this potpourri that I've made, which is Nemea lilies and some magic shit. And it both looks and smells great. And then we're like, okay, cool. And he's like, well, you'll help me. And that we do. We hand them out. And it's funny because at some point you go out, you hand them out in like Uldar. And eventually Momodi walks over and he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I can do this. We can do this. So that's when you go to the last part, which is really what the rising is all about, though.
Yeah.
Did you? There's a brief cameo by the 2 NPCs from last year's Rising as well.
Oh, that's true.
The ones that were involved in the making of the stained glass window.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they show up as well. Yeah, That's cool.
They don't say
And
anything.
you get
No.
you get dialogue from Severin if you've done the alchemist quests.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so the actual final part. This one I'm curious about because I wish I didn't, but like I said, it didn't click for me until after I'd done the quest. I didn't want to have that cutscene spoiled on my alt, so I immediately skipped it. But so throughout the quest, every time you meet like a character that you've met before, like on my main, they recognize you, but they didn't in the like the Wandering Minstrel didn't seem to recognize me either. Like it was like the first time he introduced himself to me in that quest, I think. So I wonder how this last cutscene played out for them, because are there multiple versions of the quest text or the text in this cutscene is what I'm wondering about, because I
suspect that's true.
Okay, so there's like one for new people and one for like
at least sure,
yeah. Oh, he addresses them the same.
Oh,
okay. So it's.
Can you imagine being a new player and be like, "Thank you for all these years of service." It's like, sir,
This is day one.
I haven't finished.
That must
Realm
be
Reborn.
confusing for new players. Like,
I've
because
not
he even
even
talks
unlocked the
about like
goblet.
you were there for like when no one believed in us. Essentially, like when shit was bad. It's like, no, I wasn't. I just arrived.
Or like
The funny Twitch man convinced me to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
could you imagine playing 14 and like, you know, you're not like your average Joe, maybe who's not on the internet too much. He's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna play this game. Who's Naoki Yoshida? Why is he
That's
talking?
true, yeah.
It's not a 14 name.
yeah. That's true. Well, he says, I speak, of course, of you, chat, because you're saying like it's a message to the community. He says, I speak of you, and there's like a reaction. I feel like it's supposed to be about you, right?
You as a player.
Yeah.
Your character shouldn't be there if it's not directed at you.
Right. Okay, well that's weird, but you don't think about that when you do the thing. You feel like he's talking to you. That's what. Well, unless you're a new player. When you're a new player, that must feel jarring.
As a new player, it can be you
You've been here for
collectively.
years.
It can just be
I
the
sure
player.
have.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So it starts with the moon. I thought that was a little.
There's a bit of a tacked on thing, especially for new players. What are they going to think?
Yeah, it's a little much, but hey.
Sure, some of them have seen the trailers for the new expansion, even if they haven't been.
That's
even
true,
if they
but
up to it.
I feel like they'd be a bit annoyed that it's pushing something that they've barely heard anything about, and you know they're still visiting the city states.
Yeah,
They don't know who Alphino is yet.
Nonsense. What's this moon nonsense about? I'm trying to storm the Praetorium.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Remember this.
I'm gonna go to fight retarded.
This quest unlocks at level 15. They'll be like, dude, I'm off to go to do Copperbell Mines. So so that's what happened. We don't need to talk about like the message is, thanks for playing. There's an exciting new thing coming. I love you.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. So that's the Rising.
Does anyone have his poem for this year? Because I haven't been able to find it. I've been trying to find it
shit.
the last couple of minutes.
It wasn't that good. I can't really remember it, but it was.
I feel like it was one of the lesser
Yeah,
indicative poems of.
It wasn't very.
Well,
productive.
it had like a verse dedicated to each of the previous expansions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's just like now we're going to the moon.
Yeah, he also has this ominous message at the end where he's like, I'll give you this because you'll need some... Because traditionally the Nemea Lily is supposed to like help you with the like passage or something, like something passage.
It's a death.
It's
You put it on the
helping
grave.
people.
Yeah, death, yeah. And he's like, you're going to need it because shit's about to happen. And I thought maybe you needed some help.
That's right. Confirmed.
We're going to die.
Everyone dies.
Yeah.
That's how we start the
What
next
if that's the whole
group of
plot?
characters.
Black and white moment. Everyone, this is it. How do I look?
Makeup on. Look pretty.
Everyone on Hydaelyn is going to die and be reborn.
As a pootie.
No, that would be even worse because I was catching up on. I finished all the Dragoon quests today because you know how I level by just getting to like almost 80, and then I go back and do all the jump quests.
Yeah.
And they're super disjointed because it's all about Estinian stealing the Nidhogg's eye, and then now Estinian's fine, you've killed Nidhogg, and it's one of the worst that I've seen so far in terms of continuity of the storyline. So if this happens, and like I've just leveled summoner to 90, and then I have to go back to old Heidelin to do the jump quest, and they're talking about Zodiac or whatever. I mean, it's gonna get tough.
Yeah.
They can't do that.
It's gonna be exciting though. I like Well, that is the Rising. How do you feel about this compared to last year?
This is one of the weaker ones.
It was less. Yeah, it was.
I didn't care for last year's either.
Last year,
a puzzle.
I feel like there's one thing I want to bring up, which is a fun fact, because Kippia, is that her name? Kippia
Jack or something. Yeah.
She talks about her time during the Calamity, which is actually real, because Kippia was actually a GM in 1.0.
Yes, I was about to bring this up.
And she would literally run around in Ul'dah, and you could talk to her and shit. And it is rumored that whoever was controlling Kippia was also the GM that was spawning all the monsters in Ul'dah. So
that's cute.
Yeah,
I like that.
So yeah, that's a real thing that she talks about there. She did actually run around.
Kippi Jaka has been involved in every crossover quest as the.
That's true.
Like quest NPC.
Yeah.
For both
maybe she doesn't really
Noctis and Shantoto.
Yeah. That's like the kind of thing that could only happen in 1.0, by the way. Like having like an actual in-lore character be like controlled by a GM. Nowadays,
there's too many servers these days.
And also nowadays, they would be flooded. Like, can you imagine? It would be
people just running them the worst stuff.
Yeah.
Feed pics, please.
So, there you go. That's the Rising. I would say it's not. Well, actually, we didn't hear Rollo. How do you feel about the Rising event?
I like the last year's one. It just felt a little more ominous and like, oh, what's going on? And then you see all your characters in the little. Oh wait, no. Last year was the puzzle, right?
Year,
with the
last year was
the one.
I'm thinking of the one before Shadowbringers.
Thinking about the one where it had all, like.
Was that
Which
4
there's
years
been
ago?
many Rising events.
How many?
I'm talking about the one before.
The one where it had us
Shadowbringers.
dressed up in every like main outfit.
Yeah.
Last
year's was there. It was okay. And this one's okay too.
I feel like this one had less to do with the Rising. Somehow it was its own little story. It wasn't last year like more about. It was about the Sultana during the Calamity, or like how the Sultana
it was
helped evacuate shit.
This one is more generically about the one like the people that we lost, as in the players that we lost as a result of the end of service for 1.0.
Yeah,
but not to mourn them, because a Nymea Lily is also a good reflection or something like that. It's not just about death.
But
it's also like a nice reflection.
Yeah, but that's why I kind of like, because I understand as time goes on, it gets weird. Like, there's only so much you can talk about, like the end of 1.0 in like an in-game sense. But I do like that they did actually put in a little thing for the 1.0 players with the Kippia, that reference that we would make. Okay, yeah. So pretty meh.
Speaking of the Rising,
yes.
Yeah.
We should probably at least acknowledge that there was another Tale from the Twilight posted.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
There was another Tale from the Twilight. Yeah, Merlwyr. Also something.
Father Blueswifton.
Also something to point out: if you go to that Tales from the Twilight. I think the website is actually the 1.0 lodestone design.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. So
I'm gonna check that right now. Actually,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So at least it looked like that when I was there. Okay, we're checking it live on air.
Yeah. Hey, I got to. Okay.
Everyone's. I'm doing it too. Yeah, it is. It is the 1.0 lodestone. That's what the 1.0 lodestone used to look like. So there's even more 1.0 references there. So there you go. Okay.
The deep 1.0 lore is coming back, guys. No more of this fucking Shadowbringers shit. Get this other dimension out of here. I'm done with shards.
Remember us.
I always like, one thing I always like is every year on the subreddit, there is the post.
Shut up. I hate them.
I do. Hey, guys.
The 1 million
Hey,
thousand
guys.
1.0 players suddenly appear. Yeah, of course
Did you realize that the vendor for the Rising is Minfilia from 1.0? Every year.
That's you, Luke. You're the one posting it.
No, I think
It's
you. No. Okay, that's
There's already a Raw episode that talks about it.
yes.
Yeah.
That is true. Okay, that's it. We have to go in through MogMail, so let's read.
No, there's one more story left. Also, read the
sorry,
spoiler
yes.
warning.
The live
Spoiler warning. Bye-bye.
No more spoilers.
Okay, welcome back to those that were muting us for spoilers. There's the live letter. We've already talked about the fact that the live letter is happening. That's live letter 66, but now we have the actual time. So it's Saturday, 18th of September at 2 a.m. GMT, 3 a.m. BST, which is 9 p.m. EDT. Did that just now in my head, and I think that's correct because we are no, it's wrong. 10 p.m.
No, I think it's 10 p.m. EDT,
because we are
because I was pretty sure it was 7 p.m.
I thought
PS.
BST was my
PST.
time zone. It is not. You are 6 hours away from CST. So 4 a.m. CST, that's Central European Standard Time. That's the one.
And it's something like 2 p.m. AEST.
I'll be there. It'll be fun. It'll be late night. I'll have some nice snacks.
Mela won't be there.
Mela will be
I won't be there.
So that means actually that we announced that the podcast would be moved. We don't have to do that now because this is before the podcast.
Yeah, we thought it would be the Saturday night, but it's the Saturday morning.
Yeah. So the podcast will not be moved, so you can reschedule your speaker's time for the usual Saturday.
Put back in your pizza order.
We should also say now that there will be an extended Friday hangout. So at the very least, Lakil and I will be very tired by the time this starts.
Yeah.
I'll be nice and fresh after working my 11 to 12 hour shift. That day.
Goodness. Okay. Well, there you go. We'll see you there. We'll, like Georgi alluded to, we are covering it, of course. So, see you. I'll see you there. Okay. That's that. Now we can do MogMail. MogMail. Where are you? There you are. This is from Eliath Rivers, from Spriggan.
Spriggan, nice.
Hello, speakers, and welcome back, Maila. Yeah, I put this in just because it shames us. In order to date this MogMail, it was 1 week ago.
Thank you, Elliot.
I got us.
I was thinking, but not too hard it hurts, about the future of the game, and most specifically where it could take place. What? What did you say?
Thinking hurts sometimes.
Oh yeah, that is true. We all know that 6.1 will start a brand new adventure, but won't be difficult. But won't it be difficult to set up a new story, new stakes, maybe new characters in a world that we already know by heart, and this for 2 years, assuming that we will get a new expansion more or less following the same agenda? Could they change the way the game is developed and add new zones gradually in order to really give us the impression of living a whole new adventure? Thank you. This is a really interesting question because this is something we've talked about, I think, a lot internally. I don't know if we've had this discussion really that much on air, but we've talked about, how they will present story, but it depends on how, all of this hinges on how Endwalker ends.
Yeah.
But this is something that I've always wanted. I wanted this before Shadowbringers. Like, I felt that it was weird to go to another world when our world already felt a little unfinished. There was so much unfinished business, so it was kind of weird to go to a different world.
Just a small little detour.
Yeah. Now I'm fine with it now, but that's why I'm so glad that it seems like we might be, based on Ishikawa's words as well, that we read in an interview. Was it last week or the week before, whenever? Where she said,
last week.
Yeah, she was looking forward to like dealing with stuff in our home, Eorzea specifically.
You even mentioned Eorzea, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot you can do with Eorzea. There's a lot of, I mean, you've even we've already seen them do stuff with Limsa, like with Merlwyb, like she's already resolved some storylines there, but I have a feeling there's going to be more there because Limsa is a very strange, it's a tense place.
The internal politics of Limsa are complicated.
Yes.
I feel as if the reintegration of the Exile and Gridania is also very has changed for being very interesting because it's not the Gridanians that exiled them from the forest. It was the element.
Yes.
How are they going to be able to like coexist with the Exile and not upset them without saying like, well, these all-powerful beings that we don't really have control over kind of don't like you, so you can't.
You guys remember the elementals?
Barely.
I feel like they've given up on them.
Well, they could bring that back because I feel I can see that being like a bit of a storyline. Like, remember how like people or in lore you would have to be accepted by the elementals. That's what Quarrymill is for.
That's true.
That's you go to Quarrymill and then they do the whole right thing, and then the elementals will either accept you or reject you, and that's how you are given. I think that's how you're allowed into Gridania.
I was never accepted into Gridania by the elementals. I got on an airship. They didn't mind me.
That's true. A Realm Reborn kind of, well, yeah. I didn't think that much about that because my 1.0 character is like, I've already done that. This is not my first time in Gridania kind of thing, but yeah, that is true. Technically...
Well, the idea is that after the Calamity of the Elementals
they're
weakened.
They're
out of balance.
Almost. Yeah. They're that's
Not
true.
going good.
Well, yeah,
We
we already have a story there that we can do something with. Go on, Rana.
Oh.
Anyway.
On what realm do the elementals exist? Like, how powerful is an elemental in relation to a primal?
Well, they're said to be they're really horrible creatures. Like
they seem to be like
they're
just invincible and can do anything. Like, they do a lot of stuff within their domain.
They don't even have to be in like a corporeal form. They can just be a voice in your head. Like, they're really horrible, and they can turn you into a zombie. Like,
maybe they are a primal.
If I had questions for Em itself, this would be one of them.
Yeah.
What the fuck are elementals? Explain these things to me. Well, how do they exist? What were they in your world?
And why do they look like Hydaelyn and Zodiark? Like, why do they have the same form? Because they also do that. So
maybe I think they're just a Gridanian primal. Maybe
could be just a primal that's just been allowed to like grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, maybe.
But who's fueling them? Like, is it the Gridanians themselves?
Well, the Gridanians still believe in them.
Yeah. That's very interesting. That's the whole thing for the 1.0 Gridania story, which is like, why don't you believe, like, someone doesn't believe in the elementals. Like, why don't you believe in the elementals? They're real. So that actually makes sense. I can see that.
But
maybe Kane-san is evil.
No, because I also don't think you can... I don't necessarily think that just because they believe in them and that prayer can fuel the elementals, I don't think that means that people are tempered. Because not all Ishgardians were tempered when Thordan was summoned.
No, true.
Kane-senna a primal.
Oh, she is, yeah.
Kane-senna
She's Ramu's wife.
Is Ramu's wife.
Black and white moment.
Because there it is.
What? What kind of
Kane-senna...
crackpot theory?
Well, see, it kind
There's
of we
can bring back.
If
though.
we're twisting this like to the extreme, like Panjal, they're like kind of tempered. Like they're like they become like they get horns and like
Yeah,
they
I know,
turn
yeah,
to the
that's a good
elementals.
They're almost like one of the fully turned tempered.
Yeah, and the Seed Seer is also that.
But why does it only work on Hyurs?
That is a good question.
The elementals are racist.
That could be it.
I mean,
Or
they do live in the elf forest racist place. So you know.
Yeah.
Wasn't the person who first communed with the elementals a Hyur? There might be a link there.
Probably.
Like,
yeah.
it's just looking for people of his like kin, I guess, like of his type. I don't know.
I think we can easily bring back some content by just reinstating the Dragon Song War. Another 1,000 years, friends.
It's on again.
Let's go.
No, I feel like Ishgard is very done. I feel like
I don't think Ishgard will come back. But what would be interesting is now that everything's resolved, everything's fine, all the tensions start building up between the city-states, and we get Autumn War 2.
Ooh. Well,
It'd be so boring to go back to like warring city-states.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's
we just got to like each
PvP.
other.
Yeah, that would feel like such a big step back because that's essentially the start of A Realm Reborn.
We just established the what is this stupid thing that we made?
Grand Company of Eorzea.
Oh,
yeah, that's it.
That's over. That
the
was just
G-Co. Yeah, it was fake.
Yeah.
Alphino's been actually writing the war declarations.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting. There's a lot in Alamigo that feels like it's unresolved still. Like there's probably some interesting stuff you can. Well, what I mean by unresolved is that I just want to see all of Alamigo. I know we're never going to get that, but there's some stuff they can do with that. And Ul'dah has a problem.
Pagelthan. Even though they ruined that by making it another dungeon. But
yeah.
That's interesting.
I feel like we've all just kind of forgotten about what the Sultana was saying at the end of A Realm Reborn, where, you know, when she died and didn't die, the dissolution. She wanted to dissolve the monarchy.
It's very
I know.
It's very hard to fight against capitalism, Nikhil.
Yeah.
That's like bad ending.
You can't even beat it in a fantasy.
I'm not saying that.
You know what? Real life is a bad ending. So
yeah, we got the bad ending in game as well.
It's just teaching you the harsh realities of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. She did have this conversation with. That's true. There was. She essentially just said, it doesn't work," which I agree with.
Tried.
I agree with. That was a bad decision at the end of 2.55 when she's like, everything is kind of tense right now. How about I step down from the throne? Let's cause some more chaos.
Publicly announce this.
16 years old.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
She was very idealistic.
She was. I like her though.
Yeah.
I didn't like her for a long time, but
she is.
I think Stormblood made me like her. Like finally.
Yeah.
She's
That's just because you like Raubon.
Yes,
I love Raubon,
okay. I care about Raubon, so I care about what Raubon cares about, okay?
Rollo and his adopted son Pippin.
So I see what Hero's saying in chat, because she wanted to her main reason for stepping down was to dissolve the syndicate, right?
Yes.
And then she would avoid repercussion by abdicating. But in our world, the monarch is usually safe from that, right? They can do that and be like, no, you don't understand. I'm the monarch. I am the captain. You listen to me. I dissolve the syndicate. Sit down.
Yeah, but they would have just stormed the throne.
Yeah, that's true. She could just get killed. But
I mean, that's more so what royalty was like back in the day.
Yeah.
None of those role is much more similar to what she's like.
She's like
what
a
the royalty is like now.
Monarch.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, anyways,
constitutional monarch. No one in Ul'dah is elected. It's an oligarchy.
Oh, that's true. Constitutional oligarchy. Weird. Constitutional. No, it's an oligarchy with a constitutional monarch. There you go. If they have a constitution, does Ul'dah have a constitution?
I don't think it has
a family line as well.
It has the thing where someone says something and that's it. You better remember what they said.
Oh shit. Okay. So there you go. That's
Going
Ul'dah.
back to the question.
Yeah.
Could they change the way that zones are added to their game?
Please add them in patches.
I think we already have that, and with exploratory zones, I think they're going to keep that kind of thing.
That's what I was thinking, because exploratory zones function differently from actual overworld zones.
Yeah.
How much functionality is there? How different is it in implementing an exploratory zone versus an actual just like overworld zone that we can visit whenever we want?
You'd think it would be easier
what is the difference
to
in
implement
terms of the
a normal
programming and
zone?
stuff?
Because an exploratory zone has to be able to have server space for multiple instances. and it also comes with its own systems, like the leveling stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
Adding a new overworld zone surely just needs to be able to have, like, the 3 instances if it gets overcrowded.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easier. I think they should just do that. Put in the
We
effort.
could say
You've got the
we think
money.
it's easier, but we don't necessarily know.
No, true.
There's like
But put
I think
in
it's
the
easier
effort.
just to give me tons of money, and so I can do whatever the fuck I want.
but what would you want them to add? Like in
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the story's going to be
Right.
afterwards.
For example, if we were going to go to the new world,
Yeah.
maybe Merlwyb has established a colony, and we can go and visit that, and like there are a quest
But now
to
we're
like,
no longer
set up the colony.
Now we're no longer in Eorzea.
No, but all right. Well, let's say it's in Aeolzia then. We've just drained the West Shroud,
Oh yeah, that's
Well,
true. We have
also-
the West Shroud. That's a zone.
They,
so go and explore it.
Yeah.
Ishikawa said Eorzea, but they have used Eorzea to refer to the world.
I know,
before as well,
but
accidentally in game.
let's for now just the dream is Eorzea.
Oh, all right, okay.
Well, that's your dream.
West
We've
Shroud.
just discovered Zonde's
She said Eorzea. We have to
tomb.
stick with what she said.
Yeah.
Eorzea
yeah,
for now.
The game's definition of Eorzea is very nebulous.
Well, it's weird because
There are people in Kugane,
Eorzea
I
is
believe,
a realm.
that say, yeah, I know, but there are people in Kugane that say in this world of Eorzea.
yeah, well, they're wrong. I mean, they're wrong. They're wrong, Yorkie. Eorzea is the realm to the west.
They're just wrong.
There's,
I know.
there's West Shroud. There's also the north of Vilbrand, like that whole region where the
Yeah.
kobolds
Yeah.
like, actually live.
There's the South Mordona. There are the rest of the
Southern
Curtin
Mordona.
Lowlands.
Yeah, Kurthan
There's the
Lowlands.
Seal Dias, or whatever they're called.
The islands off the
Yeah,
coast of
there's the
The Cieldeles.
yeah, whatever it's called.
yeah, that's a fucked name.
Some weird word. There are the islands on the east coast as well.
I believe the Cieldeles is where the
That's-
Minion Farm Island is supposed to be.
That is probably where that is. Yeah, I don't,
Oh.
have they said that specifically? But that's the one that makes the most sense based on even the
I
artwork.
Like my mind is telling me something like that, but I can't confirm that. I
Yeah,
don't have
we've probably
any
reported
source.
on it, but I
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of areas that we still don't have
Euphemy
access.
Salt Flats.
Yes. Well, yeah, we've kind of been there though. In the
Only in a dungeon.
that's true.
Yeah, but that's the case with a lot of places. They're
That's
not,
true. That's true. That's a possible location as well. But from the old zones, there, as you can see, in all of the old zones, the only one I guess is Thanalan. Thanalan kept every part of its original map, I believe. So
Limsa did as
Yeah.
well.
no. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's true.
No notion.
I'm just confused by its like splitting up of the two zones. But yeah, that is essentially all the ones.
I'm sure there's like something Suicidaldi that we could look into. The ruins.
Oh,
of
yeah,
Sildee.
that's
I mean,
true.
I feel like we've already essentially been in the ruins of Sildee. That's where, like,
The lost city part that, or what what is that area called
It's
in
like-
Thanalan? It's like the forgotten city, the
Oh, that isn't that
invisible
Belladaya?
city. Well, that's
Invisible
Belladaya.
city?
Sorry, that's Belladaya.
well,
Yeah.
no, Ildar
is
is built
underneath
on top of
Ildar.
Sildee. It's
Yeah.
the that's where we
aqueducts.
escaped at the end of 2.55.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's true.
And Belladaya is essentially just the stuff in the invisible city. So, and then most
Yeah.
of it is like fallen out into like a cliff, right? That's just a drop, I think.
That's
Mhm.
true. Yeah, I don't know why, but
It's saved on resources. They didn't have to to model all the ruins. There's Amdapor. There's all that shit. I mean, even though we've been to Amdapor, the lost city of Amdapor, and
4
Amdapor Keep,
times.
so I don't know how much is left to explore. I do want more lore, though.
Well,
Yeah.
Amdapor is weird because there's that whole light-filled dimension part of it as well.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
There's a lot, and the connection with the first, like the Caribou and the lion.
Literally, no one seems
And
to
it is
brought it up in the game.
infuriating that no one's like talking about it in the game.
And sadly, it feels like we'll never get an explanation because we don't have job quests anymore.
No.
I'm sorry to
Please
say,
bring
it's
them
going to be
back.
like a paragraph in the next lore book at best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is your best bet, and that's it.
that's annoying. But yeah, there you go.
Alright.
But I feel like this, we've talked about like having expansions, having like No, sorry, patches having being just one storyline, and that would fit with that. Would be like, this patch is all about. Obviously, it changes the format completely because you would have the quests would have to be quite big, a lot bigger than the current ones. Because now we have like 5 quests or 4 per patch, but you probably need to have a lot more in it. I don't know. It's weird to have one. Like, it's weird if we do Endwalker and be like, oh, now for the rest of the expansion, it's just going to be Limsa, right? Isn't that weird? I think that would be weird.
Yeah, and that is strange. But the zones also don't have to be the size of the zones we get now.
True.
They could be the size of like Realm Reborn zones.
That's true.
If they only have to be relevant for a single patch.
Yeah, they could be like just like the new end game zone where it has like dailies to do and get tomes. And we've talked about this before. And just like an end game island, lots of games have things like that.
Yeah.
A place to hang out until the expansion.
Yeah.
The reason I was pushing so hard about
What about the feast?
What? A place to do super fates.
Oh, fates. Yeah.
Or not super fates. Whatever we called it.
What? Sorry. To restart.
Sorry. Super leave quest. That's what I.
Oh.
You're speaking my language, Rollo. This is what I want. Super leaves. The leaves we talked about a few episodes back. Yeah.
The reason I was pushing so hard against the definition of Eorzea earlier is also because I still want the Gormore Jungle and Dalmasca.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
They could be part of the expansion. We just don't know.
No, they aren't. I refuse to believe that they are the final of 6 zones, unless we're getting more than 6. But still, I feel like they've shown more impressive zones at this point. It'd be weird to go, like, we've shown you the moon, and now we'll show you Dalmasca.
What if Dalmasca's like really crazy though? Could be.
I refuse to believe that.
Same, to be honest.
Do you remember that solo instance you did with Sid where you're in like this time warpy thing where like things were floating around and stuff? What if that's the whole zone?
They used that. That place was so cool.
Yeah.
Used it once.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
That's very rare.
It was really good.
When they have good assets, they tend to use them a lot. So that's weird that...
That was the entirety of the Save the Queen storyline for that patch.
Yeah.
A lot of resources were put into that. We got that instead of like an exploratory zone, that patch.
Yeah.
True.
I guess that's
true. All right. That's...
Thanks, Elliot.
That's the MogMail we have time for, actually. So thank you, Elliot. There's another MogMail that kind of fits what we're about to discuss, but I think I should read that. That's more about the other part of the mods that were... I'll read that when we get to that part of the discussion. Let's jump into it. It's time for the great discussion. All right. Mods / plugins. I know some people, the terms are sometimes used interchangeably. I think for simplicity's sake, we'll just refer to everything as mods because plugins are usually used with a mod. So we'll just say mods for now. Mods in Final Fantasy XIV. It's something that people that have played 14 for a very long time know that this is, no. You don't... Modifying the client is against the terms of service. Let's start with that. It's against the terms of service. We are not encouraging anyone to be in breach of the terms of service. Respect the terms of service, everyone. Okay? There we go. However, there is this culture of like, you can... you use mods, but you don't tell anyone. That's how it has always been because they can't. There's no way for them to like getcha. Like they can't check if you're using mods. Today, we are going to primarily talk about. I guess. What is it called? The parser.
ACT.
We're also going to talk about UI mods. And I think at the end of this discussion, we'll also touch on cosmetic mods, like actual mods of like character mods at the end. Okay, so let's talk about raiding, because this has been brought up because we have an influx of people from a different game. Let's say different games, plural. But I think
that is true.
Yeah, but I think the one that a lot of people bring up is World of Warcraft, where in World of Warcraft mods and plugins are like part of the experience. Like you are
required in some cases.
Yes, if you're a professional raider, high-end raider, you have to use plugins or sorry, mods. It's kind of like, for those that don't understand how that works, for people that have played 11, it's kind of like how Windower became the de facto way to play 11. Like, even the devs would be referring to Windower. Like, they'd be like, we don't need to add this because Windower already has that. It's not even, like, it wasn't even a thing they had made, but it was like, everyone's using Windower anyways. Why waste resources on developing that when it's already on Windower? And that's kind of how things are going. Like, that's how WoW kind of works in the same way. It's like, that's just, why don't you have this mod? You have to have this mod, dude. Why are you not playing the game correctly? In 14, very different culture in 14. So ACT. So the thing that's brought this discussion up, we don't have to talk about like ACT to us like a thing, because that's beating a dead horse. We're specifically talking about callouts.
Yeah.
So deadly boss mods, I guess, is that the one used in WoW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is also a thing that you can use in ACT, I believe. I think that's because ACT is usually the thing that people use, right? For this. But in WoW, it is a very common thing to have deadly boss mods, which essentially calls out.
You're thinking of Cactabot.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, it's Cactabot.
Cactabot is the call out one, and then the parser is ACT.
Okay.
But I think they do look up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Cactabot is the 14 equivalent of deadly boss mods. Is that what we? Oh, so that's the one that calls out. That's the voice.
Essentially, yeah. It does other stuff too. I think it also does. I've not used it much. I've looked into it, but I just haven't had a need. It also tells you about some of your dots, I think, too.
Okay.
About like when they fall off and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, so this has become sort of like a thing the community's talking about now, because, like I said, there's new players that are unfamiliar with the raid scene and are now like asking why this isn't more widespread. So, how do we feel about having a bot that calls out? Like, disclaimer, we're not big raiders. Let's just say that. But we've dabbled in raiding. We've tried.
Yeah.
I used to do it more back in the old days, back when it was before speakers, essentially.
Well, it's easy. It's easy to do when you've just got your FC and you don't have to do anything else.
Yeah. So having a bot read out the incoming attacks, how do you guys feel about that? Let's start with that simple lead-in question.
Nice.
How do you feel?
I have used DBM in WoW before, because sometimes there's no telegraphs or whatever, and you don't know what to do in the fights. And it sort of makes the fights a little easier, but it calls things out like go back, but it's sometimes a bit vague as well. So it doesn't help that much. It's easier to learn how the fight works than to rely on DBM. So in the same vein, 14 not having that as part of the raid scene is better, in my opinion, because you'll discuss, what went wrong here? How does that mechanic? Oh, I get it now. And when fights in this game click in your mind, they become like magnitudes easier.
Yeah.
And you can then put them on farm. And I think that's a really good way of how the raiding systems in this game work. I'm against callouts, especially if you're new. I would feel like your win is less impressive or anything to celebrate if you've relied so much on just being told what to do by a plugin. Personally.
Right. Okay. Rollo?
I think it, because you can kind of, someone's already saying in chat too, having the callouts is like having a perfect raid leader, basically. Which, I mean, I guess we could make, I don't even think we have to get into it, like, depending on a raid leader to tell you every upcoming mechanic. Like, that's, I don't know, that's just how some people do it. They'll do their DPS, and then when someone tells them to do the mechanic, they'll go do it. So I guess it's more likened to that. I'm not particularly against it, especially, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much since, the people have already done the world first. Like, it's
right.
All that stuff's already over. And I'm sure you could like use it as you're learning it, but unless you're just doing the straight up kind of like, what's it called? Like data mining stuff. Remember for the first Ultimate?
Second Ultimate.
Was it the second one where they had to figure out the
woke mechanic?
He'll wait.
Yeah. Where it's like, okay, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like,
well, that was just data mining.
That was data mining. That's a whole other can of worms. But yeah.
But I don't like if that's how your group prefers to play. I think that's fine. I think just definitely. If you start spilling out that stuff into the chat, like in pugs or whatever, you're gonna get in trouble. That's big against TOS.
Yeah.
There's that's kind of thing you either do with like like you're in a static, and you're like okay, we're all on the same page here. Whatever we're doing, I think having randos and then like, all right, join our Discord. All right, here are the call outs with the bots. It's like don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Rollo. If you are a person that relies on this plugin to like call out the mechanics, you're not really any less impressive to me than someone who doesn't bother to learn the mechanics and relies entirely on their raid leader anyway.
Okay.
I can see. Yeah, I see that. There's something. I don't. Maybe I'm just very, like. I feel like you're losing something in the teamwork side of things when you have a bot reading it out over like your team leader, or your party leader. But I guess it doesn't. It's not that big of a deal. I just think it's a problem if it becomes like. Let's say you have a raid team, and you have done. You
imagine.
You have a raid team, and
that'd be me.
Your raid leader is like, all right, here's the fight. Download this, and then we'll do it. How would you feel about that? If you be like, you're going into the fight, and your raid leader's like, okay, download this tool then, and then we'll do it. I feel like something is missing here for me.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't like it. I don't think it would be a fulfilling experience for me at all. I would hate if fights in 14 were designed around that. They're like, oh, okay, well, now we know the tool's out there, so we have to build around this tool, so let's fuck up some mechanics. Like, I think that would fucking suck. But, like, if the group of people I'm playing with, we're all on the same page, we don't like using this tool, we're not going to use it. We're going to do it how we like to do. Totally fine. I don't see the problem with another group just doing it differently.
But so that's important. But what I'm saying is that if this becomes like a widespread thing, just like World of Warcraft, it might become the norm. And that's what happened in World of Warcraft.
Remember, ACT has become more and more widely used as well.
Let's be honest here. Most players that raid, or not, you know what? I'm going to be gutsy and say like the people that are professionally raiding, 90% of them use ACT. You can't check that, of course, but I mean...
No. I mean,
for parsing,
yeah,
understandable.
Yeah.
I would say that your slippery slope scenario is unlikely to occur simply because there is a significantly established culture within 14 that already exists, whereas I can't speak to WoW. I didn't play WoW. When did this start happening in WoW? At what point in the WoW community did it exist? Like, was it early on? Because if it happens earlier on, it's easier for it to become a part of the
I would
community.
say it was around
sure.
Wrath
We've
when
been
it.
playing this game for 8
probably Wrath.
years at this point.
Yeah, but look at the influx of new players. Like,
Yeah,
cultures
I would
change.
say you say we've had an established culture, but if everyone from WoW moved over to 14, there would probably be a majority of the people who play this game.
That's
I-
true,
But they can start dictating where the culture goes.
I just have to say,
other games.
let's be careful with how much we
Yeah.
blame the WoW community.
Yeah, or other people who have recently joined because of the sudden surge in popularity
right.
in 14.
There's just
Not
a
many
general.
people play this game.
Yeah.
Compared to the people who have joined in, say, through Shadowbringers or
Yeah.
Stormblood to now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll say that's
Chat brings up-
impossible in this game still because
I agree.
console players.
So let's step
And
this. Yeah, go
chat
on.
brings up a good point as well. Japanese players will never do this.
Well, I'm sorry to say, the Japanese player base is tiny now compared to the mammoth that is the Western player base.
That's true. And just because they don't do it doesn't. I mean,
Yeah, that's not going to do jack shit to the majority of the community. Let's bring it up a notch. World first players. How do you feel about them using it?
Imagine this scenario.
Because yeah, go on.
The new fight has been already data mined, and someone's created a script for all the callouts.
If it
and
was
the world
from
first
data mining, I
players
wouldn't
value.
like it.
No.
They're like a general kind of.
So at what point is it okay for the callouts to appear? Do the world first people have to have cleared it and then they write the script?
There is a certain. Okay, yeah, that's a good question because if it's from data mining, obviously you are cheating. So that's.
But that's what happens in WoW because they have a.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what also happened.
They have a
that's
public-
also what happened with Uwu.
Exactly. And everyone, I remember, like, I was so into, like, Fallout watching that, like, them
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. And then there was this data mine
That's
thing.
how it is.
And I was like, I'm out. I don't care
Yeah.
anymore. You ruined it. Congratulations. So, yeah.
But
no.
the problem was that was so widely public that, like, if you wanted to be part of the world race, you couldn't ignore it at that point,
No.
which was
No,
unfortunate.
that's true.
Yeah, I know. But, okay, so let's say that it's not data mined. Unfortunately, there is really no way to prevent data mining because once it's out, it's out. So people will start doing that anyways. But yeah, go on, Rolla.
They've talked about some ways about circumventing it, or at least delaying it enough to where, like, the second it's out, you can't just be like, okay, there it is, everything right there.
Right.
There's some. They do kind of obfuscate it at least a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think there are some countermeasures to at least encourage the sportsmanship. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just everyone should be on as level a playing field as possible, especially in a world first race.
That's the thing that I feel is starting to shift when you're using the callout thing. It's not so much about the like trying to figure a fight out. It's about getting to the goal as fast, quickly as possible, and using all possible tools to get there. That's what I'm worried about, and that's what we kind of saw with the World First of Uwu. And there's also this other thing which I feel like data mining is like, that's so overstepping the terms of service. Your account should be gone forever. But there's also this other thing apparently that can call out AoEs before they happen.
Yes.
And
I've
at that
definitely seen
point-
some
I
of
think
that.
that's acceptable.
You have
That's
stepped into
cheating.
cheating territory.
That's
That's like using an aimbot in an FPS. It's
Yeah,
cheating. Or
yeah.
Warhack is cheating.
Because call out, all right, it's like an automated raid leader. I still think you should. Okay, this is how I would accept a call out thing. Do the raid with your raid leader, note down the attacks, and do it manually, and then program the bot to do it based on your calculations. That's how
I
I
could
would.
accept that.
Because then you've actually done. That's your team's call out bot, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having someone else do it on, like, I don't know where they post them, Reddit, and then be like, oh, download that, there it is, that's our bot, we'll do the fight now for the first time. That feels weird. Why are you playing the game? What are you doing?
What's the achievement?
But at the very least, it's not cheating in that sense, because it's just saying what's already happening, right?
Yeah.
But AoEs that haven't happened yet, that's cheating.
That is cheating.
That is cheating. And yeah, that's horrible. So I feel like we're a little split. I'm not fully against or for it. I think I'm very in between on this. Mail, are you against or for this?
I'm generally against it. I mean, ACT on its own for personal use, if you need to check your DPS, fine. But there are systems already in this game to check whether you have the DPS.
Oh yeah,
to beat a fight.
sorry. I meant to mention this. There's also the unfairness for the people playing on console.
Oh, that's also true.
That will not have.
That's why I think
access.
it'll never happen for stuff to be displayed on them, because it's just.
Well, then you might just have PC only parties or whatever.
It can get more unfortunate.
Situations.
Yeah, because they were like, "Can you use this?" And they were like, "No, on my PS4."
You're not joining. Then there'll be further segregation in the community.
The community culture than you do.
Yeah, but what if it happens? It'll never go back.
Okay.
Because this game's already changed a fair bit over the years.
I'd also say that my opinion on this is that it's similar to someone that either learns how to dance by themselves versus learns how to dance by going to an instructor.
Yeah. Also, don't try to call people out in chat. That is weird if you are. So there you go. That's that. Let's talk about UI mods. Lighter. This is a lighter thing. Also, we should probably... no. UIs.
It's lighter, but it's... And I don't know why it annoys me so much, but it annoys me.
It infuriates the hell. Well, I kind of agree with you here because I feel like it's unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest problem with it.
It's people like forcing their game UI to look like WoW just because they're uncomfortable with learning something new.
Yeah,
that's funny. Is that real?
Yeah,
I hope people are doing that.
Rollo, it's literally during peak times it'll be like the top 4, like the top row of 14 on Twitch will be like there'll be 2 or 3 people with what'll at first glance look like WoW but with updated graphics.
Yeah.
And I don't care about it that much.
14 has a very clean and nice UI for an MMO that is like over 10 years old. Well,
I will say
for A Realm Reborn.
Well, 8.
Yeah.
I don't know if the UI is directly transferable for 1.0.
Yeah, that was a bad UI.
That's true.
There is some stuff where I'm like, okay, like I really want to use that. Like there's the one, I won't name it because I don't say, and no terms of service. Yeah, I don't use this. In fact, I've never used it.
No, you have to be careful.
I really feel like the chat bubbles thing is like...
That's nice.
What's wrong with that?
I think that just adds so much to 14.
Oh, like...
to have chat bubbles when people talk. It's so much easier to keep track of who's talking. Makes the world feel like livelier. Why is it not a thing? Why do you have to go to a mod to do that? Like
that's a fair point. Although that, in a way...
Yeah,
adds functionality to the game because in a extreme trial situation, I would notice a pop-up bubble much quicker than I'd look at the bottom left of the screen for chat.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah,
like it's just nice, and it should be a thing, and you can disable if you want to, of course.
Yeah,
but it should be a thing in game,
and it must be very easy to do because someone did it. Right, so it's weird that it's not in, and that's like a very normal thing in MMOs to have the chat bubble when someone speaks. So that's strange.
Another one too is damage types. That's a really good UI mod, especially because there are things that matter if it's a magic attack or a physical attack. The game will never tell you. You just have to kind of look at it and be like, it looks like magic.
I don't mind this one because the only reason the devs don't do it is because they want to be able to switch whether it's a magic or a physical damage attack until the very last minute before they release the patch, and that's why they don't want to make it definitive in the UI. So that doesn't really bother me. It's more because it sounds like the devs would do it if they had the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look in your battle logs. And it'll tell you what.
I'm going to stop in the middle of fight.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but you can learn in retrospect, oh, I died to that attack. What was it? Oh, I was getting hit by magic damage. I should have been doing this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pushing on to closer to the giving you an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
But the solution to it is so easy. Just
but that's
change the color of the text.
And it's such a pointless difference. Like, it's just like, oh, I died to that once. From now, I know from now. It's such a like unnecessary like extra step that is added into the experience.
There's no death log in this game either, so you can't. You have to scroll through.
Yeah, you have to.
The fucking battle log while your teammates are still fighting, and it's like flooding the box. Like it's not.
No,
I know. Intuitive.
It's not intuitive.
You could put a little icon next to whatever they're casting, put a little sword or wand, or you can change the color of the fly text, or you can. It's just so much stuff you could do. Like, why is it not already there? And the thing, it only kind of matters for one job. It's for Dark Knight because only they have magic vulnerability down.
Yeah.
Or like, why?
Well, it also is useful for Adel and
Adel,
yeah,
that's right.
The other one, the physical decrease that I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I would rather they just implement that into the actual UI. Because it's like you say, it's very easy to change, and it is important information. But the fact that they haven't done that means that mod is in only the tiniest way an unfair advantage.
Right.
So I don't like it.
These are like such minor things. It's like. What's the point?
Yeah,
why do you have to skirt the terms of service
but,
like this just to have,
Because I want the chat bubbles. I want to walk in Limsa and see all the stupid chat bubbles that I have no reason to look at.
In theory, Rollo, in theory.
In theory.
Yeah.
I would never do this because I'm a good Christian boy.
Right. That's true. That Christianity has a lot to do with this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, there are ones that like I've seen ages ago, like where they'd changed like the boxes of the UI to just be like a clean black or something and slightly nicer looking symbols. And it's like it looks a little bit nicer.
I am mostly
whatever.
shocked seeing people broadcast it. That particular thing, I'm like, oh, you are very comfortable with showing this off, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them have said if they get banned for it, they're okay with it. And that's a weird attitude.
Do you understand what banned means? Well, they might just be suspended for a couple of weeks. But then they'll just keep doing it, and if it's like 3 times, it's over, right? Isn't that how it works? Depends on the...
Maybe their opinion is if the GMs of this game don't want us to do this, then we won't play their game or something. I mean, I can't put words in their mouth,
as far as I know, no one's been banned yet of the ones you...
Yeah, and if they only get a suspension, like, that might be what they're waiting for before they stop doing it. But like until then, they have no reason to do so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if they're big people, they might be more hesitant to suspend them.
Yeah.
But they should really.
Which is unfair, obviously.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
See, that's the power of the oligarchy.
Exactly.
Constitutional oligarchy. Yoshikisi, the monarch. Okay. Well, you know what? I think we can extend this because we don't have a minimum eye level premiere today. So we'll run into part 2, which is based on a MogMail by... I don't have it actually because I wasn't actually prepared to read it, but I just realized it was here. It's by Win. So you know what?
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I'm playing the intro at least, so you get that experience. It's so fresh. It's not even in the show notes. So
yeah, I was wondering that. I was trying to find it earlier.
I'm riding blind here, or you're riding blind. Okay. In recent weeks, many popular content creators in the 14 community, both new and old, have begun to highlight some of the niche aspects of the game: RP, nightclubs, modding, hardcore raiding, etc. To both the interest of new players and oftentimes the criticism of older players or those heavily involved in these niche circles. A lot of the criticism has included things like creators only focusing on lewd or adult aspects, not fact-checking and giving blatant misinformation about a niche community, and even leading to trolls harassing or attempting to have participants hunted and banned. As content creators in the community yourself, do you feel people who have a public eye are obligated to making sure they spin things in a more positive light? Are they responsible for how their communities act? Is it up to a content creator to fact-check and provide good information before showing it? Why or why not? Thanks, love you guys as always.
Thanks, Win.
Thank you.
Loves and
I think-
kisses.
The last point you raised that we should fact check definitely is true. I don't agree with spinning things in a positive light. I think spinning them
I
in the
agree
most
with you
neutral
there,
possible light,
I
trying to
agree.
be factually neutral and not take a side is very important in
That is
journalism.
That's actually a choice taken with this podcast. Was that we were never going to. This podcast was never going to be a kiss ass.
Slanted.
We were
Yeah.
not going to be like blindly, because that's a genuine spin that a lot of podcasts for other games as well do. Like they're like positivity because that sells, right? People love hearing their game being praised constantly. That's why they tune in. So being neutral,
Exactly.
there's also the other end of the spectrum, which is like constantly shitting on it,
Constantly, yeah.
which is also a weird thing and exists in all communities. There are hate podcasts for video games as well. We want to be neutral and report on it as neutral as possible, and then throw in our own opinions on top, I think.
Yeah. It's just response by the community act to some degree. Like if you incite your community to do something, you're responsible for their actions in that instance. And if you tell them not to do something and they do it anyway, I don't think you are responsible for that, because everyone has their own autonomy and they'll do what they want to do. But don't tell people to witch hunt, because if they do that, you are responsible because you told them to.
Yeah.
But if you just tell them to be cool, and then you're not responsible for the bad people.
I think
go on,
with some stuff though, if you go into like how do I say this? Have you ever seen like a streamer play a game, right? And they're not like how do I say, like targeting the people that make this game or anything like that. But like, look at this fucking game. Like it's fucking Bongo's Bind Revenge.
Right.
And they're playing. It's like, this is fucking stupid. You know, it's like fucking shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not outright harassment or something.
Right.
But you're kind of like definitely trying to like send a message, you know? Right. And it's one thing, I would say it's one thing to compare it to 14 to be like, here's this cool little community event. All right, I'm going to cover it. And then there's nothing to go into someone's like, I guess more private, smaller event. But look at these fucking weirdos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely kind of a tone thing that comes with it. Like you can definitely, you know, not be harassing someone, but you could definitely be disparaging of someone and putting in a really bad light, not in a kind of criticism kind of way, but like, it's fucking weird.
Yeah. It depends how you go about it. Like going into someone's bar or like club RP and saying, "Oh, look at these idiots all dancing," and, you know, all their weirdos or whatever, for no reason is a weird thing to say. But if you go in and you like speak to them and you learn some things, you're like, "Oh, that's actually quite cool that you all gather here and do this." Yeah. And then they tell you also like, "Oh, I sell Mikote for 100,000 gil a night or something." You're like, I'm not about that. I don't think that's cool. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on how also, I mean, depends on how big you are, how big your voice is. Like the bigger you are, the louder your voice is in the community. So of course you have to take that in mind as well. But you have a responsibility if you're if you're a creator. I feel like our podcast we're not big. Let's just have that.
We're not a large platform.
No, but
it doesn't mean we shouldn't.
That does not
consider all these things.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously, I think rather than skirting around it, like is doing in chat, Asmongold has done many interviews recently with people from various sections of the community, and I've watched quite a few of them. He's done one on role playing with the clubs and stuff like that. He's done one on modding, where he showed some horrible modded pictures of his character in weird poses. That was very strange. Mm-hmm. I think he's done another one as well. I personally feel like it's an I think he's fairly neutral in them. He puts on good interviews because he gets actual information out of the interviewees. You know, they have a platform to talk about their subsection of the community they enjoy. I think the problem with it is the fact that he has tens of thousands of people watching this, and it highlights these sections of the community that maybe want to remain more niche.
Yes,
especially like, you know, the ERPing or whatever.
Yes,
so I don't. But these people agreed to take part in it, so it's an odd one.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, because it's impossible when a game reaches a certain size. Things that were once niche will start to grow so much that, you know, it's kind of hard to keep it.
Yeah,
I don't know if hidden is the word, but, you know, under wraps or within the niche community. Well, the problem is the niche community is so big, it's, you know.
Well, they're so big that, you know, there'll be some people who are like angry at the person for taking an interview because now people know about what we do. But then there'll be people like, oh, brilliant, we're getting a spotlight on the things we do.
But then they're like, people know what we do, but then a lot of people will be like, we already knew this.
Right? Yeah.
So it's weird, but it's I don't know. I guess I don't fully. I feel like it's difficult. It's a difficult topic, isn't it? I don't know.
It is tough. I mean, sometimes you should kind of try and know your audience as well. Like, if you know what kind of people you attract and what kind of content you cover, maybe you should be mindful of that.
Yeah.
But I think also it's okay to make some mistakes with that, because you can't always know.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's literally just a spark that turns into a big fire.
Yeah.
But you should at least try. That's, you know, you should try.
They're fairly innocent interviews, and they're fairly well-rounded, and for the most part, it's just the person he's interviewing talking. Yeah. And he just maybe like learns something and asks a new question. So I don't know. I feel like they're innocently minded.
There's a concept in like journalism where you're like, I can't remember the term, but it's essentially like protecting them from themselves. I feel like at some point he probably should have kind of understood what was happening. We're talking about that one specific interview, I guess. I feel like he probably should have cut it off before, like a little earlier. He dragged it on a little too much.
I agree with that.
Because
he's not a professional interviewer. He's not a journalist.
Who he was interviewing, right, was probably not fully aware of what was happening either, right? Didn't fully understand the scale of what they were doing. They were having a casual chat with him about this thing. But what was actually happening was that they were kind of exposing things that, you know, that group didn't really want to have on display for so many people, and specifically his community, or their community, I'm going to try to be as neutral as possible, their community, who may not have, you know, everyone's best interests at heart. They might not be the nicest people.
Did the interviewer, like, go through the process where you ask people if they want this to be released publicly?
No, this was very casual. Didn't this just happen during a stream?
A lot of them are like, he'll meet someone and like, do you want to do an interview?
Right.
And if they say yes,
I don't think they get to vet the questions beforehand, right?
They don't vet the questions beforehand.
Yeah, I don't think it's that professional.
No, he just comes up with
it.
I wasn't thinking that, but like they still, I don't know, because it's weird. Because in real life, you'd have to sign a release.
Right. No, that's true. They they would be aware that they're going to be broadcast live.
Yeah.
And so I suppose there's sort of a non-verbal agreement that this is now public, because there's no way it can't be anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It's not. They're never closed door interviews that are then released.
This is where this question is touching on, is the responsibility of the content creator. Is like, at this point, when the pictures started coming in, that would have been a big red flag for me. I'll be like, okay, we need to wrap now.
That was, I believe they were.
That's a commercial.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But yeah, they shouldn't have been shown, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
It's a learning process anyway, but. Yeah. At the same time, I believe that, although I don't agree very much with a lot of the mods that people use, I also don't care that much. And if you like role-playing and have gained something from having role-playing highlighted, that's a good thing, right?
Right.
As long as nothing bad happens, it should be okay. I don't know.
Right.
Some of these establishments probably are now having loads of people come that they're a bit overwhelmed.
maybe.
That's also a problem because now that let's go worst case scenario. This is shown to like hundreds of thousands of people, and then let's say I'm not going to be too mean. Let's say 30% of those people are very mean trolls. They now know that this exists. And that interview went into very specific details about how things went down. So they have the tools at hand to figure out what people are doing, and then they can go and harass players or obstruct or be in the way or be, something. That's
true.
That's
and
not
at that
good.
point, there is an element of responsibility to the person who interviewed them because they know they've got a big platform.
Yeah.
And this could happen. But at the end of the day, it's the individuals who are harassing who take the full or the majority of the responsibility for their actions. And if you tell someone, this has been a great interview, everyone please respect this individual. If you want to come to their RP venue, just let them know beforehand or something. And
I want to say, chat, you should be mad at the interview. Yes, but it is in... This is like they framed this as an interview, which means you're in charge of the content now at this point. You are interviewing, it is your content. You are in charge of what is being presented here. So that's why all journalists operate with this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a code. It's like
journalistic integrity.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's like you don't let a person ruin themselves or their community in an interview.
Yeah.
You call off the interview when you notice that's happening. That's happened. People have done that live on TV when they're like realizing, this person is being very destructive, and then they just
insane.
cut. Yeah. So that's
and
he
it's
just let it
super
go
easy
on.
to cut because it's a Discord call.
Yes.
You just leave.
Yeah.
Sorry, having connection issues. Gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Start
definitely
interviewing people and just do that now.
Yeah. There's responsibility, but also, like chat says, this is a learning experience for them as well because it's not something they know a lot about. They're learning as well, but they should, educate themselves before doing an interview with an RP or whatever, or a modder.
We're not mad at anyone.
No, we're not mad at anyone.
I don't know if if the person in chat is talking about like the community being mad at people. But we're just saying we're answering the question here. If a creator is responsible for its own the content they present, and they are. It's interesting. We had this conversation, a different conversation. This is a classic boring pre-show conversation that we had. We talked about car versus pedestrian, and in my country, the driver is always responsible. Even if the pedestrian walks into the street, the driver is always responsible. It is their fault. They didn't pay enough attention. They didn't stop in time. Same thing with a content creator. You are responsible for your content, what you put out in the world, even if it's live. Right now, I am responsible for everything that comes out of this show. That's me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Pee pee poo poo. That's you.
See?
That's all you.
If Rollo started ranting now about really inappropriate shit, I wouldn't just sit here and go, interesting, Rollo. Very cool.
Yeah, can't try and stop him.
Yeah, I would.
But it would be Rollo who is responsible for what
he's responsible for what he's saying.
But Lukeil would have been responsible for letting him continue with that rather than shutting him down.
That's the
and
point
also broadcasting it in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot of linked responsibility in a situation like this.
Yeah, yeah.
But overall, I think the recent highlighting of these areas of the community has been mostly sensitive.
Yes. Yeah,
for the
I
most
think
part.
it's been, except for that one thing. Yeah, I think, All right. That's it for that discussion, I think.
Thanks for all the questions.
Thank you for everything.
Whatever.
Thanks for everything.
Thanks for everything.
I don't think there's any closing words. Yeah, it's simple. Just be mindful of what you're covering.
And, if you get banned for having EUI mods and call-out mods and broadcasting it live on twitch.tv, then that's your own fault.
Again, you're the driver. It's your fault. All right, we have to pull minimum eye level dungeon.
Ilvl.
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 Here it is.
Ilvl.
Okay.
Ilvis.
Ilvis.
What does the fox say?
Well, this.
Collective sounds better.
All right.
Here we go. Oh God, we need
Guess
to
your
decide what we're
dungeons.
I would like
Oh, this part.
farming.
spice of life. So I will go.
What did we do
with-
last week? Something hard? Google
did-
hard? No.
No, that was the video. We did.
Probably the most
we
exciting
did
part of the pool is
Gimlet.
waiting for you to guess
Oh,
which
Gimlet
dungeon.
Dark. Oh yeah, you've done it. I'm gonna say the Swallow's Compass.
wanna go to
I'm
sleep.
going to.
What?
What?
I want to go to sleep. So Temple of the Fist.
Temple of the Fist. Okay.
Don't bother.
I will pick a Halatali hard.
Ooh.
I'm gonna stick to
Please
my
don't say
guns.
Slasher.
Dusk Vigil.
Ugh.
I have pulled. No, oh, it's very short. Oh, no, it's just. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
I'm a fucking moron. I keep putting them back in. Okay, that was great Google Library hard. We've already been there. Okay, here we go.
Why'd you do this?
Let me mix this up. Oh, they're still so full. It's hard to mix them up.
It's too full to mix it. Yeah.
All right,
You need to get one of those
we have to use this.
those
This is-
ball machines they have in the lottery.
Oh, that would be fun. That's a good idea. You know what? Maybe I'll get that.
Get an official lottery
Oh,
ball machine.
wait.
What?
The anti. No, listen. We have this. We did this. There is a YouTube video of this, but
No,
it
there
isn't
isn't.
published.
Well, that's
It's
Well, then-
fully edited. What happened
Well,
was
then-
I forgot to upload it
was it a
Well,
good
then you said it's on
episode?
YouTube then, so you did upload it, but it's
because
not
I remember
published.
it has me as a Kinder Egg boy.
Was it funny?
Well, is it a good episode?
Probably
you
not.
Do it.
Or was it? Can we?
We
Alright.
can let's redraw. Put that one
Let's-
back for now, then, because we're
You
not
know,
sure
I'll put it.
on-
I'll put it on the side here as like a.
Yeah.
Remember to check.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
It's so old. I think again, Yas was in it.
It's fine.
A humor quality of life check.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
need that.
Wouldn't that be really confusing if I
Yeah,
just
it would be
uploaded
super
the
confusing.
anti-tower and they're like, wait, yes? It's like, oh,
You should. You know what? I dare you. You should do it. Just no commentary. It's just. It's there. Just episodes out.
God. I wonder how confused Yas would be with that. All right, here we go.
Should probably do a DMC.
People be like,
take
wow, that was funny, Yas. All right, here we go. Sword Kai.
Well, you said
Yeah,
that
I said
last week.
that last
Yogi.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to pick it again, but I did actually look at it and think, should I pick it again?
Nah,
No.
no prize for you this week.
All right.
No.
Okay, so now we have to spin the wheel. Last time
The Wheel of Doom.
we
Last
did.
time was no, it was Blind Lukiel.
It was
Yeah,
blindfold Likio.
yeah. Which that
Oh,
was.
And then you put all tanks back on the thing.
Yeah. The.
No, we did Baelsa's War last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did Bell
Not the
well.
Gimlet.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
the
we'll put
Google.
yes
Sorry,
comment.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
sorry, I was.
Blindfolded Lukiel.
All
I'm going to
right.
keep track of this every week. I'll never remember.
Okay, all tanks is back on the wheel. Let's have
Sorkai.
a look.
Some quite challenging bosses in Sorkai for him. Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. I don't know. Sorkai's the one with Racefelger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Racefelg is a pretty good fight.
Yeah, he was tough, especially because the boy with all the platforms disappeared. Where's Georgi?
I love.
Oh yeah, Georgi. Now Georgi's finishing. Georgi, where'd you go? You've left. What happens?
Sandoz
What do you
Georgi
think
mail.
happens if I click this? Oh, there he is.
Oh,
Okay,
back.
it's time to spin
Oh, it's not started yet.
the wheel, and it is spinning. One hot bar only.
Oh,
Oh, no!
This would be great for Sastasha, but not.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's
Well, better
really
pick your
hard.
skills. Oh
You get
no!
one hot bar skills roller.
Oh, that's.
I think I might have to make a second like UI
I'm going to make a
layout thing.
separate UI
Yeah.
for this. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
going to open
Yeah.
one of my own UIs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
think I just wouldn't. I'd feel too sad.
Well,
I'm sorry, you don't need any DPS. That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun for DPS because you have to think about, what GCDs or whatever you want to bring in, what OGCDs,
Yeah.
any buffs.
all right.
It's going to be
well,
hardest for tanks probably.
That's
Or no,
that.
maybe healers. I don't know.
We'll see you tomorrow for a round of Sorkai minimum eye level with only one hotbar. Thanks for watching.
Hey.
I'll do the end thing again. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord in the chat if you want to join our Discord server, if you're watching on demand, links in the description. Remember to send us MogMail, SpeakersXIV.com/MogMail will go into post-show now. If you're watching live, make sure you catch that. If not, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.